True Sky reading for Taurus for April. Welcome, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the month of April. I'll be starting your reading today with the Alice in Wonderland Tarot. I've already pre-shuffled your cards and cleansed the space. Okay, so the first card we have here today is actually Temperance. So this is saying that you need to balance your energies at the moment and do things in moderation. So try not to be too extreme in your implementation of things that you're doing. Balance your activities. We've also got the Sun on the base of the deck. I thought I would just show you. So the second card, which I think is quite interesting here for you, Taurus, is that your crowning card for this spread is the Tower, which is interesting. So the Tower is linked to change. It has a destructive energy, but it's also very catalytic, so it can actually instigate new growth and new things coming in by destroying the old. The thing I think is so interesting is that it does have a very Uranian energy to it, that kind of progressive, revolutionary, destructive, cyclic kind of energy of Uranus. And currently in the true sky, Uranus is in Taurus. So this could definitely be an energy that's in your life, I would say, depending on when you're born in your Taurus chart, what planet or things that you have in Taurus and how Uranus would be aspecting, because at some point during this transit it will conjoin whatever planets you have in Taurus. So you're going to have some of this revolutionary change energy, big changes, shifts in your life. So it's interesting we got that for April. The next one here we have the Two of Hedgehogs. So this is about choices and decisions, and it's on the material plane. The next card we got is the Queen of Hedgehogs. So this is very much Taurus's card. So we're talking, it's like the Queen of Pentacles, and she's the Earth Mother Queen, and she's very, nourishing, and the Earth Mother with the herb garden, and cooks the nourishing food and baking bread in the oven, and generally lots of children, very fertile. So it's interesting too that we not only have her, but the next card is actually the central card, is the King of Hedgehogs. So we're talking the King and Queen together in the cross formation. He's the center. So I don't know if you are a male, so if this is you, or if this is your partner or someone in your life that's obviously got that kingly, King of Pentacles energy or King of Hedgehogs here. So he's, he could be actually a carpenter or a builder or someone with those skills, because that's a very even Taurian kind of trade, or Capricorn, or Virgo. Next card we have is the Page of Flowers. So this is like your Page of Wands. So it's actually a really creative card. It's about new beginnings in the creative level. So this King of Hedgehogs would be quite a creative person in your life, or energy in your life. And the Page of Flowers is giving that more fiery disposition, so they could have some fiery placements, or you could have some. The next card we have is the Star. So that's a really beautiful card here as well. That is also linking with the King of Hedgehogs and the Two of Hedgehogs. So that's quite a bit of hedgehog energy here. The Star is about wishes and belief and hopes. It's a really positive card. Next we have is the 10 of Spears, which this would be equivalent to the 10 of Swords. So it can actually signify feelings of like a betrayal, which could be linked with this King of Hedgehogs. It does signify like painful endings, relationship, friendship, a goal, project. It says it's run its course. You're feeling disappointed and hurt, but know that it's a learning experience, and dwelling on the past will only prevent you from stepping into your future. So that definitely does feel right with the Tower at the top. So there really is that destructive. So definitely with the King of Hedgehogs in the center and the Tower at the top crowning the reading, and then the 10 of Swords in the bottom, that could definitely be involving this masculine figure in your life. And the Page of Flowers could represent a child, or even, you know, on here it's got multiple faces, it could be 3. So the last card that we have here on this first spread is the Pair. So this is equivalent with the Lovers, and as with the Lovers, it is linked with Gemini, and it does represent a choice. So there are multiple paths you can take at this time, multiple decisions, which is interesting because we have the 2 of Pentacles in this part of your life at this time. So I'm going to clarify with the Wheel of the Year cards. The first one I've got is the 4 of Pentacles. So this is for the Temperance. So this card is about like hoarding and potential greed and just holding on to your possessions. It can be because of a fear of not having enough. So the Temperance with that would be, I guess, together would be saying that be aware of that. So obviously don't overspend if you are struggling with your finances at this time. Balance it, you know, so make sure you also do treat yourself as well when you can, so that you don't have that restrictive feeling about your resources. Okay, the next one we got is the Fool. Wow, this is so interesting because the Fool is also associated with Uranus, and like I said, Uranus going through Taurus in the true sky, shaking all the Taurians up and all the things in the Taurians world, crowning, clarifying the Tower. So this is a big shake-up in your life, and it is definitely a new beginning ahead. It's actually quite a positive card, so that with the Tower, to me, is like a positive reinforcement that what has been destroyed was for the best, and that you're going on a new journey now. So the next card, which is a positive thing, is the Queen of Wands. Wow. Okay, so the Queen of Wands is to clarify the 2 of Hedgehogs. So this is about a decision on a material level. The Queen of Wands is a warm-hearted, kind, loving, creative type of feminine energy. Some consider her to be like a witch because she's very good at manifesting things in her life. So there's that energy that could be even symbolizing you if you also have some fire placements in your chart. The next one we have here is Princess of Pentacles. So wow, so this is equivalent to your Page of Pentacles. And we've got this clarifying the Queen of Hedgehogs. So there is resources coming in for you. There's a lot of Pentacle energy here. There is resources coming in. It might be a bit slow in coming, but there are new opportunities coming in for you to gather your pentacles. Next card to clarify the King of Hedgehogs is the 2 of Cups. Wow. Okay, so this is traditionally a very love associated card. It doesn't have to be, but it does represent reciprocal love and new love. It can mean a new phase in a relationship. So this is to clarify the King of Hedgehogs. The next card we have is the Three of Pentacles, and this is to clarify the Page of Flowers, which is really interesting because that Page of Flowers card has the three faces of the flowers, and this is the Three of Pentacles, which is very much about collaborating with others on a creative journey. So it is to do with material resources, but it's also about other people and how when you work together with other people, you can manifest more. Kind of like the saying of like many hands make light work. Seven of Wands is our card that we have to clarify the star. So Seven of Wands is an interesting card. It does talk about some hardships, and you may be feeling a bit self-defensive. You may have been going through some hard times, and that you're doing okay. You're getting through it. You know, you are tough. You'll get through it. But, you know, these guys are building a wall. There's a flood. You know, there's some ongoing out of the blue strain or stress in your life, and you're having to fortify and, you know, build some way to protect yourself. So this is with the star, with the wishes card. So the combination of these two, I would imagine, would be saying that, you know, there is a defensiveness here about wishes and dreams and hopes, and maybe there's even been a bit of like cynicism about these things. But ultimately, you know, try not to let these hard times get you down, because you do have this really positive star energy there blessing you. Okay, the next card we got is the Six of Wands. Wow, this is beautiful. So this is to clarify your Ten of Spears, like your Ten of Swords. So this card is a success card. It's about victory, it's about success, it's about celebration within your community, but in that sense that they are celebrating with you, and there's a real like flowing of love from all around. It's a really positive card. It doesn't mean that the journey's over, and it's not a completion sense of success. However, so this definitely signifies that you'll have success and victory over these Ten of Swords, these hard times that you have been going through. And also with this King of Hedgehogs and this love situation, the, you know, chaos of the Tower, the new beginnings, all the Pentacle energy, you're going to succeed. Okay, next card, last card actually, is the Five of Chalices. And this is actually to confirm, clarify the pair, so the lovers. Wow, so this is signifying that it's you've been going through a time of emotional disappointments. You've put your heart and hopes into something, and it hasn't turned out as you've hoped. It says, allow yourself to feel your feelings now. Disappointment hurts, but it won't last forever. Take a moment to process what's happened and move on to better things. So that's about this decision as well with the pair. So there has been definitely some disappointment and heartbreak and loss, possibly to do with this figure, this King of Hedgehogs, who could even have these grasping, you know, with this this card with the hoarding and the material assets and the greed energy. Okay, the next cards I'm going to pull from today are the Outlander Oracle. Okay, wow, okay. So the first card we got is Twins. That's really interesting. So it's you know, associated with Gemini traditionally, which you could have some. I mean, Taurus and Gemini are neighboring signs, and often signs will have elements of signs either side of them. So the twins, interesting with the lovers or the pair in this deck as well. And so this is to clarify these cards over here. I don't know if there is like a twin flame energy here or anything like that. Ooh, okay, next card we got is Seductress. So I don't know if this is you or someone in your life, but this is here. And this is linking this Queen of Wands, which I would say would be very much those energies, the Queen of Wands, Seductress. Okay, next card is healing, and we've got these energies here. So yeah, there's definitely healing going on. You have been going through some hard times with the Seven of Wands and also the Ten of Spears or Swords. The last one we've got is spy. So maybe someone is spying on you, or there's some element of that going on. It could even be this King of Hedgehogs. To do with the Page of, yeah, the Page of Wands. Yeah, so it could be if there is children involved. Okay, next cards we've got are the Mermaid and Dolphin Oracle. Oh wow, okay. First card we got is the Morning Affirmations. Say positive affirmations each morning to open the gates of manifestation. That's a really positive thing to do. Next card is Waves of Prosperity. New abundance and exciting opportunities wash over you now. Beautiful. Last one we've got, You're being helped. Heaven is working behind the scenes to help you, even if you don't see the results yet. So to me, that very much is linked in here with the Star card. And it was interesting we had the Sun at the bottom of the deck too. Okay, so numerology cards are next, and the card we got is number 4, Perseverance. So this is definitely linking here with the Seven of Wands about persevering, and you know, that sometimes you do have to build walls and defenses around yourself to get through hard times, but that you need to keep, you know, moving on. Interesting also that number 4 is a number that can be linked with Uranus. Next card we have is, oh wow, okay. So the next card we have is actually parenting, which is interesting because I was having an intuitive moment about this Page of Wands potentially being a child in this situation. And so the parenting card is actually lying on top of that. So I think there is some link here. And the persevering, you know, so it might be a hard time if you are parenting. Maybe you're a single parent. I'm not sure. But that number is 63, so... Okay, the last card I'm going to pull for your reading for April is from the Maiden of the Wheel Oracle cards. Okay, so the card we got is 8, Sun, Inanna. It's a really beautiful card. So I'm going to read from the book, this one. And... Inanna. So Inanna for Taurus for April. Each of us has a sun that resides in our chests, in our center. This sun is where we draw in love and pour our love out into the world. It resides in our heart chakra. It is our creative center, and its energy is feminine. When we align with this center sun, we open a portal into the timeless realm of creation. It anchors us into our being and connects us to the universal flow of life. The Maiden of the Wheel, who represents the sun, is the ancient Sumerian goddess Inanna, parallel to the Mesopotamian Akkadian goddess Ishtar. Just like the knowledge of the wheel maidens has been hidden, so has the knowledge that Venus is our second sun, our feminine sun. Venus could be said to be the physical representation of the heart chakra, and Inanna the embodiment of Venus on earth. The great myth of Inanna is of her descent into the underworld. As she descends, she has clothing or veils stripped from her slowly until she arrives in the underworld naked. This myth represents to us the turnover from matriarchal rule to patriarchal rule, where the power of the feminine was stripped until women were left powerless. There was a slow shift from polytheism to monotheistic religions that worship one masculine sun god. The power of the sun is great. It burns up everything in its wake. The masculine force is the force of action. Without this forceful energy ascending, we would not have evolved into the world of semi-luxury we now inhabit. However, when the sun is left to burn too long, it creates a wasteland. We are on the verge of this now. The feminine sun needs to be reborn, and the land needs the healing waters of the feminine. Without your inner sun, you are disconnected from your creative self. You are the wasteland, empty and disconnected from your purpose. You may go about your life performing your duties, but you will be all action and no depth. It is time to find the feminine sun that has been hidden from you. Inanna is here to guide you into the underworld to find what you have lost. The inner sun is your passion, your creativity, your joy. When you are centered and feel your heart expanding like it will burst out of your chest, you will know you have found your sun again. Once you find it, you will want to help others to find theirs too. This is the reawakening of the goddess sun of Venus on Earth. Wow, that's a really powerful message. So from what I took from that, with the Venus energy and obviously Taurus being ruled by Venus, interestingly too, that Venus is currently in Aries, so it's quite a fiery time for Venus and Venusian energies right now. And then also with the current Uranus energy being in Taurus, so there is like a revolutionary, there's a big change happening with Taurian energies, and Taurus does rule over beauty and love, and also creativity, and it's an earth sign. And interestingly, that we did have the sun on the bottom of the deck, which is kind of like the shadow of the reading. So yeah, obviously the sun won't go into Taurus for quite some time. I think it's around the 12th of May. You'd have to look at a calculator to get the exact date. However, it's still quite some time into May before the sun actually will go into Taurus in the true sky. I hope you have a great April ahead, and I wish you all the best with everything that you're currently going through. I'll be back again soon with another reading. Thank you.